Okay, ladies, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Leanne Beckwith, and I'm a Sapphire Ambassador here with Plexus. And Natalie Fuller and I have been business partners for 8.5 years. Natalie's a diamond with Plexus here, obviously. And so there's been lots of conversation going on about a few different areas that we have just started to implement. So just a little bit of background to give you kind of where we ended up or why we're here today. So Natalie and I partnered 8.5 years ago, and we both last year, COVID, the perfect storm. And I think many of you ended up in momentum with the way that Plexus had gone, all of our virtual meetings, lots of great business growth last year. And so I had almost re-ranked Ruby in May of last year, then went Senior Ruby in June, Emerald in July, and Sapphire in August. And so we had huge growth in those 3 months. And I have always kind of been a systems person, but not know where to start sometimes. And I have been a part of Bob Heilig's course last year. I purchased his yearly course, and I did it for the first 6 months. The last 6 months was way too chaotic to be plugged in. So I gleaned from the first 6 months of it, and I'm just being completely honest. I am no guru at this. I'm going to give you what's working for us and our tips and our tricks, because in all honesty, we have not been this excited about a system, I don't think, ever. And even just over the last 48 hours, what's happening in our business and the relationship and everything, never had it. So in August, Natalie would have had a little more than myself, but there was like over 540 people added to my team in August of last year. And so it was overwhelming, to say the least, of where it was great and it was fantastic to have all of these new people, but so many people fell through the cracks because they were not being taken care of. They were not having the proper instructions to get started. This was before we had our triplex instructions into the boxes and things like that. So we ended up losing a lot of people, to be honest. And in a brand new group that had started, we had great systems put in place for send, share, and invite. And that is what really threw us into momentum. Was fast start bonuses started in July, and we really pushed that. We really focused on the language of that and how you could simplify it, bringing people on with people, and you're going to get your fast start bonus in 30 days. Hey, bring 3 friends with you, and you're going to get over $300 in your first 30 days. That was so enticing to people. So then in the fall, we really started to look at, okay, what now do we do for retention? Because that's now where our problem is that we're having problem with retention. I've always been a big recruiter. In that 3-month time period, I think it was 72 people in 90 days that I personally brought on board. And what happens is, as well, then you're dealing with all the follow-up. And again, like, I let people fall through the cracks. I have people still that contact me. I'm like, who is this person? And then I go and look them up, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I personally enrolled them 3 or 4 months ago. And I obviously haven't had contact with them. And so I'm like, I'm failing in this area. And I'm like, I want to do better. So we started looking in the fall, and I just really kind of dug in. We hired a VA in October, and that's where things really started. We were like, okay, they had a 30-day customer care program that we were very interested in. That was one of the big reasons why we went with the VA, because they had already created this and had been working with some Plexus ambassadors. So we really felt that we would be able to glean some things there. Well, long story short, we've taken that 30-day customer care program now, and just really and truly in the last 48 hours, I think it was Wednesday night, Natalie, we were still 10:30, 11 o'clock at night making these alterations. And let's change this video here, let's put some new wording here. And we were making these little tweaks and things like that just even 48 hours ago to get it for us just the way that we want. And we'll still continue to massage it and probably make some changes in that, but we really feel confident that we've taken this 30-day.
Also because we've been using it for a few months.
Yeah, so we started using that 30-day program back in October when it was put out. And so we used it for 30-day, or the 30-day program, for like 60 days, got some feedback, some of our leaders, different things like that. We were using it. So it was like, oh, I don't really like this. I like this. And, so we had a couple months of working with it. And then the whole message, and a big part of the message that Plexus changed to this year too, is the 90 days, right? Like success sprints, all of that wrapped around 90 days. If we all know this statistic, I quote this regularly, that 87% of people that use the triplex for 3 months are still on it a year later. So we want to get people to that 90-day mark, because that is a sweet spot. If you can get them there, 80% of people are still on the products a year later. They're lifers. And so that's a huge statistic. So we took this 30-day program, after a 30-day customer care program, after using it for 60 or 90 days, and we've now expanded it, and it's a 90-day customer care program that we have. And so we've shortened some of the messages in the first 30 days. We felt it was a little overwhelming with too many messages. People couldn't get through it. So there's about 6 solid messages in the first 30 days. There's another 4 messages in the 60-day time period, and another 4 messages in the 90-day time period. And we've kind of reorganized them and put them the way that we feel works best for our team. But now, taking it a step farther, where Project Broadcast comes in, this is a game changer, and this is life changing. So Project Broadcast is, I use it on the app. So you can use it on any device, but it's $10 a month, and it gives you 500 text credits. And so you can automate your customer care messages. So the last couple weeks, we've been getting the customer care program all the way that we wanted. So February, the last week of February, was a huge enrollment week with the promotion, and that happened. And so I personally, just to give you an example, so I personally pulled out about 56 people on my level 1 and 2 that I wanted to be in communication with, pulled out, handpicked 56 people, pulled them out from the 25th of February to March 2nd. And I was able to create one group of them and send I automated all the first 30 days of customer care messages. So I sent them a welcome text message that had my picture on it. So then the cool thing with Project Broadcast, it took me honestly about 10 or 15 minutes of watching some YouTube videos. So that's where I'm like by no means an expert, but it is so simple to use, and the results have been amazing. So I took a few minutes just the other night, learned that I could add my personal picture to my intro message. And so, Natalie, are you able to bring up, can you screen share what yours is? Because then I basically phoned Natalie, and I was like, I'd been telling her for a couple weeks how excited I was about Project Broadcast. I've been using Project Broadcast for a couple months. So I will be honest, I've been using Project Broadcast for a couple months, and I was using it for my team. I do we incorporated a mid-month mindset. So everybody that's silver and above, we had been sending a mid-month message to them on the 15th, and it was a mindset message. Then back in January, we incorporated a Sunday mindset that for builders and people who are interested in business and really working on personal growth, we started a Sunday program that they would get a mindset lesson basically, or a YouTube video, and we would send that out. So I've been using it for a couple months, but right now I believe we're tapping into kind of the power of it, where it's going to yield great results. And so we've automated our customer care messages. So I took 56 people from 6 days of growth, and I handpicked them, pulled them out, and I automated all their messages. So Natalie, yeah, just click on your introduction to Natalie. So I've been telling Natalie how excited I am. Then the other night, I'm like, hey, listen, you've got to do this. You have to automate your messages. You have to do this. Within like 10 minutes, I had showed her how to do this, and she's got it up. So Natalie added her personal picture. Where you see the little, what are they called? They're like parenthesis little marks, the little squiggly lines. That automates their first name. So I can take this message and I can send it to 2 people, I can send it to 20 people or 200 people, and it's going to personalize it. So it's going to say, hey, Jen, it's Leanne. Or it's going to say, hey, Jen, this is Natalie. Hey, Sarah, it's Leanne. Hey, Jamie, it's Leanne. So it automates it and it personalizes it for everybody that you're sending it to. So this goes out as an introduction to now all my people on my probably 1 through 3 is what I'm going to do. I'm going to introduce myself through text. It's my picture there, and it's going to let them know that I'm here as an encouragement. I'm sending some encouragement and natural wellness education from this number. So please put this in as your contacts. And that is saved as a template. So anytime I want to use that, I just hit the template button and it automatically copies and pastes it over into my broadcast messages of who I want to send it to. So in all honesty, I'm not going to be able to give you all the little like nooks and crannies of Project Broadcast. There's like you can go on YouTube. There's a 10-minute video that I watched where I got the gist of it, and I just started using it. So then we automated our customer care messages. So Natalie, do you want to just go back to that just to show that first customer care messages? So what we have found and what we think will work well for us, and this is where you do you and you do what works for you and your team, and you can take some things, leave some things, whatever you want to glean from it. But this intro message goes out, and when somebody has signed up, whether it's on my first level or my fifth level or whatever, what I'm teaching everybody is you take our very first customer care message and you automatically send that through Messenger or Instagram, however you sign the person up, because that is, you're usually in communication right there with them.
Leanne,
And yep,
maybe what I'll do is I'll pull up the customer care so they see what
yep,
our first message is.
yep,
Because we get all the ambassadors to do the very first message.
yes,
And then what I'm getting everybody to do now is at the end of the message say, I'm working closely with my support line, Natalie, who is going to continue forwarding you communication over the next 90 days and provides the text number that it'll be coming from so they can put it in their contact. But so they
yeah.
start first with this message. You're all set, and I'm so excited for you. This is the first
Sorry,
message.
we can't see it, Nat.
Oh,
It's still on Project Broadcast.
okay, just a minute. Let me pull that up. I guess when I changed, let me screen share that. Here it is. So this is the
Okay,
first
there we
message.
go. Yeah.
We asked
So
them
this,
to register for our welcome email, and then this is the first message they all send.
so we have a welcome email that we send every brand new ambassador. Then we ask each individual, whoever is registering them and signing them up, you're going to take this message, copy and paste it, and you're going to send it to your ambassador and let them know that there's going to be further communication coming from a direct support line that you work with. So that first message, sorry, just scroll back. We have, this is a brand new message. We really, this is what we've created from here, where we want them to do a first post right away. And so we just say, hey, yeah, can you do me a favor and do a shout out post for us? And we have a $100 cash giveaway every month that anybody that does that first post, they'll get their name put into a draw for that $100 cash giveaway. And then most people are fairly open for doing a favor for you. They might not do it for themselves, but they'll do a post and do a shout out. So we worded that just so that it takes the pressure off. We do mention the Fast Start program because we want everybody to know what's on the table for them. So we put that right in the first message, and then we give them their first post idea. This is a first post that works really well for us here. So I did a thing when it went all in, finally said yes to feeling better. I'm doing a 60-day health reset. I can't wait to see where this health journey takes me. I need somebody to do this with me though, because I'm way more likely to complete something with an accountability partner. Who wants to join me? And then that little graphic, who's in. So that is a message that works well for us. And so everybody sends that. They're responsible for sending that to that's the first message. They're responsible for sending that to the brand new person that signed up. Then we'll take it on day 3. Day second message, we do want to tell people about their perk rewards. So we know that somebody is very excited within their first 24 to 48 hours. So we want to keep that communication open. So we just have a second post there or a second message for day one. Maybe a few hours later, or maybe it's sent on the second day, but it's, hey, oh yeah, oh my goodness, I almost forgot to tell you about your rewards. So day 3 is where we start to automate the messages. And that's where they're going to get an introduction text with our picture on it, sending them. And then the very next day, they'll get day 3, what to expect. These links, this is the other thing with Project Broadcast, you can make every link trackable. And so I want to track those links. This is a video by Rhonda Shaw, and it explains what to expect when you're starting Plexus. So I want to know how many people have opened that. Have they watched it? So that link is trackable in Project Broadcast. So when you send it out via text message, you're going to get a report. You're going to know who opened it, if they watched it, and how long they watched it, and all of those good things. So you're going to be able to track that all right through your Project Broadcast. This message is where this message went out yesterday for me. I sent this out to 48 people. This was their getting started instructions. It's written, it's there for them to see. And so, so this went out for me yesterday, and I sent it out to 48 people. And in an hour, I had 36 responses back. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. This helped so much.
I'm going to stop.
Sorry,
I was going to say, I'm going to stop sharing for a second and go to the Project Broadcast, because that's the message that went out in my group to two different groups this morning at 9 a.m. And these are all the responses. Let me go to share. Let me share this just for a second, because I want to make sure I show this in case I can't stay with you guys for too long and Leanne can finish with you. But I want you to see, this is the kind, these are people, remember, I don't know, but I've now been introduced with my picture. I'm now going to be taking care of customer care for them. And so these are the kind of comments I'm getting from people that has been really fun. Thanks for the update. Somebody wrote, in fact, afterwards, thank you, Natalie, excited to get on the program. I've never communicated with these people before. They have been shipped, will be here on Monday. Do you know when water bottle will be coming? Are they on back order? I mean, there's communication I'm having. They will be Saturday. Here's one that I got this at 10 o'clock. They will be here Saturday. Love this text. Thank you. That's really fun. Somebody wrote in here, thanks for such easy instructions. It's been really, really fun watching, like reading, because I can see the text I sent out to them, and then the communication that they send back to me. It allows me to reply right away. Like Leanne gave me this good idea, because one person made a comment. Well, I went and checked her tracking. I don't know her. I've never communicated, but I checked her tracking really quickly, said the products are arriving tomorrow. She said, oh, thank you. I'm hoping my products will be here soon so I can get started. This was a message I sent to her back last night. So it's kind of fun. All this communication that this person said, thanks for the info with a happy face. It's just cool. This person, I don't know her, at 9:05, right after I sent her the message at 9, she writes back, woohoo, can't wait to get on the products. Yes, hopeful. So
hopefully
it's kind
today.
of,
yeah.
Yeah, yes, hopefully. We have had terrible weather this week, so hoping for today. Yeah. Anyway, it's kind of fun because now I'm developing a relationship with all these people that I've never met. It's so cool. All of these messages. These were some that went out last night.
Yeah.
So anyway, I
So
wanted
think
to
about
share.
that just in the taprooting aspect of it. If you can send a personalized message to people, even on your 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th level, interesting story. Like, I mean, there's people and there's jewels that are on 6th and 7th level that don't feel connected to the jewel above them. And there's nobody in between them, and they're not working. What if you could close that gap and you could create that connection where they're now getting a personalized message from you? You're able to put them in a group text of, silver and above, and send them a little message once a month. And so to answer the question, I'm not sure who asked it. Yes, all the messages can be automated. So you literally, like, I went in and I had 56 people, their entire 30-day customer care program automated in less than 30 minutes. I had 6 messages on different days ready to send out and all set. So my month for March, all my customer care is done for everybody from February. All my messages are set, they're automated, they're ready to go. So again, this is what we have found that we're going to try and see how this works for us in looking at the groups of people. So obviously, if you have a big enrollment date like February, I had 40 some people, about 40 people come in on my last day. So that was a big enrollment day. That doesn't happen every day, right? So what we have kind of, again, it could change. We could change it. We're open to suggestions, all of those things. But what we're going to look at is take 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we're going to group. So everybody that enrolls Saturday, Sunday, Monday, at the end of Monday, they're all going to go into one group and get their customer care messages started. Anybody that enrolls Tuesday and Wednesday, they're going to go into a group and get their customer care messages started. Thursday and Friday, same thing. So there'll be 3 different groups that start every week of those people. And maybe you only need to do it twice a week, depends on your enrollments and things like that, right? So that's where you can totally customize it in what works for you and what works for your business. And so maybe just twice a week, you're sending out messages. But here's the thing, once you have those templates made, the templates are made and they're saved. So your intro message is there. All of your customer care messages are there. All you have to do is you add your 2, 3, 5, 10 new contacts to your project broadcast, which literally takes seconds. You put their name and their number and they're added as a contact. So now you take that template and you say, okay, Heather, Jen, and Jamie all signed up on Monday. So they're in a tag group. And now I'm sending their customer care messages and I schedule them out for the month and it's done.
It's I can tell you, not being as techy as some, it's so super easy. And all I'm asking the people that I mean, I'm doing it for my own, and I'm just doing it for a couple of my level ones who are recruiting quite a bit. And I wanted to, I don't like to hear they feel overwhelmed because I put in, 8 people last month, and I'm telling them they need to do customer care and they're feeling overwhelmed, which means that I'm taking them away from where I want them to spend their time on recruiting. So I said to them, okay, the only job you'll have to do right now is when you finish enrolling them, you're going to register them for our welcome email. You're going to give them the first customer care. This is all within 5 minutes of enrolling them, the first customer care. And that time you include in that first customer care message my name, my text message. If I haven't been involved in the 3-way and they don't know me, this is my partner. I work really closely with her. She's helping with the customer care. So your customer care messages are going to come from this number. And then when I send, hi, this is Natalie here, they already knew I was going to message them. They see my picture. And from there on, they're getting it from me. It's really so slick. And I can tell you with my new people, because I just started doing this, they just feel like this whole burden has been taken off their shoulders. And I've been copying and pasting at some of the responses and sending. It's like they're just so ecstatic about it. So that's kind of a fun thing.
Yeah.
I hate that
And I think,
I'm going to
sorry, you
jump
go.
off. I'm going to
Okay.
keep, but um, I'm excited that you guys are taking a look at it. It's fun. It's been really, really fun.
Yeah. Thanks, Natalie.
Okay.
So, and I think for big recruiters, right? Like that's what we're talking about. And that's where, like for myself, that's where when I went through, kind of my 90-day blitz last year, I'm always, minimum usually 6 people that I'm enrolling on a monthly basis. I might have the odd month where it's just 3, but generally it's 6 or more. And when I went into that 90 days and did 72 people in 90 days, I was swimming like in it, and then going emerald and sapphire on top of that and everything. Like, it was crazy. I was putting in 16-hour days some days, and I had an emerald that I had a girl that enrolled the end of June. She went emerald in 59 days, and so she was brand new, had no idea what she was doing, and I'm running her I'm running her team, and she didn't even know how to enroll somebody until she was already in the business 90 days because I was doing all of her enrollments. And so it was crazy. So that's where I really felt, okay, There's got to be things out there to systemize. And that's the big thing too, right? If you want a legacy business and everything, you've got to have it work when you're not and when you're not there. And that's what this is about. So I absolutely believe, even though we're in the beginning stages of automating our customer care program, I believe it will be a game changer because it's better than what we're doing right now, because we're trying to teach it and duplicate it. Some people are doing it and some people aren't, like we get somebody who enrolled 13 people in January, and then you find out, well, I didn't even add them to the welcome email. And you're like, seriously? You're like, okay. And that's where my personality, I want to take their business from them and just say, let me just run it, because I don't want it affecting me, right? But you can't do that. And so you're looking for leaders, you're looking for simple systems that you can duplicate, that you can train them up in, and that it just works. And so I absolutely believe that this will be a game changer for our customer care program. I know there's been some questions in the chat and things like that. I think I got them, but unmute yourselves if you want to ask questions or anything like that. Anybody have any questions or things like that?
I have a question. This is all wonderful, and thank you for taking your time to share with us. Your leaders, I'm guessing they're fully bought into this. Do you have anybody that says, I got my team, and then you just take them out, or?
I think it's always a revolving door, if that makes sense. Like I have one leader on here right now, Sarah Brown. She's in it to win it. Like there's no, she's just in it. And that's what I just told her about project. I was like, listen, she's going for Ruby this month. I'm like, you just need this. So I said, hop on this Zoom that I'm doing. I said, we were going to wait to introduce it, to our downline, but I'm like, you just need this. You need this in your life. So I have 2 people going for Ruby this month, and I have two emeralds underneath me, and then some, senior rubies. Really, after our big growth months, some of those leaders that went to leadership ranks, they just didn't know how to sustain it. They didn't know how to handle it. And so they're not active. They're still getting a really good paycheck, but they don't show up to team calls. They don't, do certain things. So I've always been a firm believer of, I'm going to spend 80% of my time with the 20% that are working. And so I really focus in on that and hone in on that. And that does change sometimes from month to month when new leaders come on board. New people are working. I know for Sarah, that's changed for her, where all of a sudden she's got, a new Fast Start Silver just from last month. And, 10 days, the girl went Fast Start Silver. Well, she wants to go gold this month. So, well, she's going to put her effort there and going to work there. So that's the same thing with me. I look at who's working, what they're doing, what their goals are, and that's where I'm going to put my effort. Does that answer that question?
Yeah, thank you. I just, I have a couple leaders that send their own messages through like an app called Moxie.
Mm-hmm.
So I do the welcome text, but I don't do like the customer care or the follow up, which is genius. Cause this is retention right here, because I just had a guy go Fast Start Senior Silver. They don't know this. And so I'm doing it all on my end in private messages and phone calls. It's driving me crazy. So this is
absolutely.
Thank you.
And so that's where there's some people my other girl that's going Ruby right now, she is like overloaded with some family kid stuff as well. And she's got goals to go Ruby, and she's a huge recruiter. And she now just got, after she's been here 6 months, and she was another one. She enrolled 76 people, I think it was, in 90 days. But no duplication. And I'm like, okay, we got to tweak some things here. Like in 6 months, you enrolled 98 people or something like that, and you have nobody that's duplicating. There's something wrong here. So I got on the phone with a couple of people, said, okay, handpick some people that have potential that could be fantastic. She got me in on 3-way Zoom with them. And we created 3 silvers in the last week of February last month. And so now she's got some duplication happening. So I said to her, okay, she's my level 1. I know she's going for Ruby. I know she's got a lot on her plate as a single mom of 6 kids and, yada, yada, yada. So I'm like, let me take your customer care for you. So I was like, you make sure the first message is sent, You make sure that you tell them that I'm going to be introducing myself, and let's run the customer care through there. And she was like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. Because that's where, again, she was drowning, was the customer care. So are you putting in old customers and ambassadors too? So that's our next step. I am working towards that. I'm going to take everybody from January that has maybe got customer care messages here and there, but I'm going to put them in the 60-day program, and I'm going to automate that. I'm going to send an introduction email or introduction text, and then we'll start them on those messages, because the 60-day customer care messages are ones like, okay, it takes 66 days to create a habit. You're almost there. You're doing it. Tell me your dosages. Tell me some things that you're noticing. So it's those types of questions in the 30 to 60 day where it's asking them, questions to engage with you. So that's our next step, is we want to get everybody from February automated, which we've done now. And now we're going back to January. We'll input them. Anybody that still has their subscription on and stuff like that, we'll get them started with the 30 to 60 day, messages there, and we'll continue, and we'll probably go back, look at anybody from December. We'll put in some 90-day messages there, and we'll get them started there.
I so relate with that, with your one that add so many but couldn't retain. I had a new one that went Ruby in 1 month, Senior Ruby her second month, but she had up to around 1,000 points. Now she barely making Ruby. She can't retain, and I can't connect with them. I have a severe hearing loss. I can't call people, so I need to change things up. She pushed me to Emerald, and now I'm not reaching Emerald points at the moment. And I've just got a VA, and she's doing the perks, and we send out a PB for the welcome to Plexus to every new person, because I think that could build belief and all. And I was kind of worried at first, because we had that Legacy program, and that sent out so many texts to people, and people were annoyed by it. But I'm getting great response off the PB. Mm-hmm. And so I need something to change things up, and I think this is great, and I'm so appreciative of you sharing this. I'd like to see if we can, is there a way we can get exactly what you're sending so we can tweak it and change it up to?
Yeah, we'll get that. We have a PDF and like a copy and paste, a Word doc. Sorry, I have my VA sitting here listing it as well. So there's a Word doc and a PDF form. So we'll get those, and I'll drop that somewhere for everyone to see and tweak it. And yeah, you can take it and make it your own and everything, for sure.
I have a couple of clarifying questions. One, when you say you start somebody out on a message and then you automate them, so the very first message is not one of the automated broadcast messages. It's just one that you send them, but still through Project Broadcast, but it's just specifically.
No, so not through Project Broadcast. So it's still part of our customer care program. So it's that very first message that explains Fast Start, and it explains the first post. We have, so anybody that Sarah personally enrolls, I want her to send that message, because you literally, anybody who's working the business, it's going to be like, you got their info, and within 10 minutes, they should be enrolled in the system, unless, you've got an earthquake. That's my mentality, Yeah. So you get that info, they better be a brand new enrollment within like minutes of you getting that info, right? And so they've more than likely given it through text or Messenger. Is probably the 90% is through Messenger or whatever. So I want my ambassador or anybody in my organization, I want them personally sending that first message to them via whatever means they signed them up. And then at the end of that, I want them to say, hey, you're going to get a welcome text from my direct business partner, my support line, however you want to word that. You're going to get a direct text from somebody that I work with, and she's going to be sending you some customer care messages over the next 90 days.
I love that, because that way, sometimes I feel like people, and what y'all have already said, but like people enroll people, but then there's like this, they don't feel comfortable answering questions, but they don't want to do the whole 3-way. And I'm like, just get me involved and I can help. But it's just that middle. So I love this. So then you add them to the automated. Okay,
Yeah.
so then the next question, when you do those replies, like if somebody, like Natalie was showing how
Yep.
she was getting those replies, those are just, you send them back and it's just like a normal message at that point, like you can communicate.
It is, yeah. So you just have to be, the only thing you have to be careful, like I'm looking at mine now, if I start to automate so many messages, and I mean, it's peanuts. It's $10 for every 500 texts that you send through. But I have a few, like I send out every Sunday, I do my mindset messages. So that goes out, that takes up like 250 of my credits just by doing one text on Sundays, right? So then, you know, I might have to up my account right now. So
Yeah.
that's where, when you have leaders, it's so super simple and easy that you want them to start duplicating that for their personals. So
Mhm.
if you think about it, when you're starting out, it's almost like, okay, I'm going to automate this for my first 3 levels. I'm going to automate it for my first 6 levels, whatever you really want to do. But you might have a handful of leaders. So you might have a couple senior silvers, you might have a Ruby, and so maybe you've got 5 leaders that you can say, okay, you're going to automate all of your personal people. Okay. Or maybe like Sarah is going to take her level 1s and 2s. So then it kind of downsizes your group, right? Maybe you're only working with your level 1s and you're working with maybe some level 2s that are just scattered, that are like, oh, I'll go silver, but I don't want to do the business. I'll refer a few people, but I'm not going to do anything else, right? So you can pick and choose who you're going to input into your automated messages. Because if you've got 5 leaders that you can train, like, and right now that's what I have. I have 3 that I'm teaching to use Project Broadcast and do their own organizations. So then that just omits them, and then I take on everything else, right?
Okay, and then my last question, I promise I'll be quiet. But when you start sending these automated, and maybe you've not gone to this point yet, but like, are there bits in those automated messages that make you think, okay, these people are more interested in the business? And do you pull them separately and start, like, because I know the automated thing is great to get
Yeah.
customer care, but like, where do you, or are you trying to like find your business people in that as well?
Oh, absolutely. So right off the bat, our very first customer care message explains the Fast Start program and anybody that will make a post for us. Anybody that makes a post, you're definitely going to want, you're going to track them, right? And right now we have a huge success rate of people making first posts. So side note, I have a first post chat group. And so I've got about 10 or 12 people in that chat group. And anytime one of their people makes a first post, they bring the link over to our group chat and they'll say, hey, go show some love on this first post. So then we as leaders, the 12 of us, will all funnel over there and we'll say, hey, great info. I'm super interested. DM me, send me a private message. So we boost their posts, right? Okay. So anybody that's making a first post is going to be somebody that you're going to keep your eye on, because they're obviously interested in some sort of referral program. We also have in our customer care program. Now, again, I have a prime example, a level 1. She started using the products in October. She used them quietly on her own for October, November, December. January, I reached out to her saying, hey, would you do me a favor and would you make a post for me? And I'll put your name in $100 cash giveaway. Well, she made a post and she had 18 people comment that they wanted info. She's obviously got some influence. And in January, she signed up 6 people. And now she's super interested in referring in the business, because she was like, why did I get $400? Why, like, whatever this was. And so we have the very first post. Then the customer care messages are all mainly related to product until you get to that 60, 90-day mark. We also have another post in there saying, hey, if they haven't made a first post for you, now's a great time, because they've been on the products for 60 days, 90 days. They've got to be seeing some things. So ask them to do a shout out for you, or maybe they've done a shout out in the past, but there wasn't a whole lot of response, or they haven't been opened up to the business. Let's talk about that again, basically.
That's what I was curious about, if you kind of revisited that later on. So that's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Was this helpful? Hopefully this was helpful. I hope that it was. Yeah, so Project Broadcast, they have different plans you can do. I think it's just $10 for every 500 credits that you want to use, and you just sign up, and it's super easy. I watched one or two YouTube videos that were like 10 minutes. I just put how to use Project Broadcast, and so they can give you maybe more detailed things, but you can create tags, which are groups of people. You can template all of your messages, which means they're saved right there. And then you automate all of your messages, the trackable links. Every link, every YouTube video that you share is a trackable link. So you can do all of that. So it really is, I feel like it's like a one-stop shop for, customer care and retention. All righty.
Thank you for your time. We appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Leanne, where are you going to put this recording? I know you said you were recording it. Are you putting it in the JPEG?
We will either upload it to Natalie's YouTube or to my YouTube. So one or the other. So as soon as we upload it, I know Natalie just had to go to an appointment. This is her account. So whenever she gets back and she uploads it, she'll either send it to me or she'll just upload it to her YouTube, and then I'll get the link and I'll put it in I'll probably just put it back in the thread in the Jewel page that we were talking on, because then, yeah, anybody that wasn't on, they can have access to it there. And then maybe that's where I'll drop the customer care program too, is just in that thread. Yeah, that chat group.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, thanks so much, ladies. Have a fantastic Friday.
Thank you.